Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Ashley for FD 1111 Ministries. This is the weekly word. So I'm doing it a little different this time around. I was led to do it this way. As you can see, it's a little different. So I feel like this may be either three different types of energies, meaning three different groups of people, or three different circumstances in one person's life. So we will see what the Divine Spirit has to say. But I definitely know that there's I hear flow of blessings that are coming through. And a lot of my personal community, those that are attracted to my type of content, that you are breaking a lot of generational curses, aka generational habits and belief systems. And this is definitely coming through during this Leo season, as we have the beginning of Leo season now. And as I'm recording this is on the full moon in Aquarius, so new beginnings altogether. We have a lot of air energy here, a lot of mental, I hear mental capacity. That means that like people that has not been using a lot of their mental space on their hard drive, if you will. So imagine a computer or a laptop that a person only has been using about 10% of the capacity, or pretty much like the capacity that the computer can fully function. So it's like about 90% of other functionalities that the computer can do. However, the person has not even tapped into that. So think about how powerful your mind, how powerful your magic is. And these group of people, I feel like myself included, that we have not been using a lot of our strength, a lot of our talents, a lot of our capabilities, a lot of our mind space. So I'm really drawn over here where we have the Ace of Swords upright like that, and then we have the Queen of Swords downward. So as above, so below. But I feel like with this Queen of Swords energy is the group of people that have allowed themselves to be blocked. And I say allow because at first they were completely blinded to the fact of their habits, of their thought patterns. However, the Spirit has been showing them their habits and their hang-ups and how they can break it, those generational curses, generational habits, whatever it may be. But the person hasn't been allowing themselves to really break through. It's like some type of fear, or it pretty much stems down to the root of fear. They have not allowed themselves to break free of that. But however, during this cycle, that you will be able to break through. Look at the sword. The crown represents the cranium. It represents like the mind and this analogy. And we have the hand, the willpower. What controls the sword is the hand. So the willpower, the sword is the mind. Even connected to the mind is the tongue and what we say out of our mouths. Driving through the cranium, so the changing of the mind, the changing of the way how one thinks and the way how they speak. I hear joyous, like joyous. I don't know if that is necessarily a real word, but we're going to roll with it. Joyous, like someone that is very joyful. And joyful is it's not just an energy, but it's like a seal or an identity. Because you could be happy, you could be sad, you could be angry, but a joy is like a mind state. And it's set on joyous, like regardless of what it may be, this person or these group of people are joyful. They see things from a whole different perspective. They're just vibing at a really high frequency. So here, these cards came out like bam, 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 like that. And then for my personal deck, bam, 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 just like that. And I was led to line them up like this. So it could be, like I said, three different types of people or three different situations in your life, such as like career, health, and then relationship, for example. So you pick how the way this is going to come through for you. All right. A new start is coming, the new moon. So it could have been during a new moon at some point over the past 6 months that you planted a seed. And that seed, you could have been working with it for a little while, but I feel like for some people, they just dropped the seed in the ground and they just walked off, which can be good because you're not tampering with the seed, but it also is a bit of neglect. So the spirit for some people is saying, revisit that seed that you planted into the ground. Nourish that seed. It's the time to do so. It's the time to go ahead and turn your attentions to that seed. Because what happens? 9, fruitfulness, the payout. Whatever work you have been putting into something, the nourishment, the love, the attention, that it will grow and it will overflow. Okay, give me a second. All right. Believe in the impossible. A blue moon. Generational blessings. This comes from the book of Deuteronomy 1:11. So 1:11 is a pretty powerful number. It's an angel number. I hear occurrences. So with this person, it could be like they're noticing that cycle of how things play out in their life. How from one generation to the next generation, how relationships have been set up, or finances, whatever that particular pattern may be in your life, you're noticing that it is a pattern, it is a motif throughout your family lineage. 1,000 times the blessings for you, for generations continual, as promised. So there's a promise that's coming through. Some people may have already known about this promise. It could have been, for some people, it could have been like in the form of a story that their parents or their grandparents would tell them. And it was set up like a fairy tale or a folklore. And for others, it could be like they just know intuitively themselves that they are the ones that are changing and rearranging their family lineage for generations to come. But it started off with a promise that could have been from a while ago. It could have been a great grandmother. We have the Queen of Swords here that received that download that my great grandbaby is going to do this, going to do that. I feel like some people may know about this promise or the secret. I when I touched the card, I heard secret. Give me a second. Yeah, someone could have known about a family secret, a family heirloom. And for other people, more smaller group of people or just one person, this is a timeless message. So I just pick up on the most prevalent energies and messages that the Divine Spirit has for me to share. So it may not be necessarily during this Aquarius full moon or, whatever astrological positioning, whatever, but the strong message that's coming through for somebody, it's like they were blessed from birth. They were blessed before birth. Like their parent, like you, the watcher, your parent, your mother, I specifically feel like a feminine energy. She was blessed. Her womb, like I see her standing there and someone placing their hand on her womb and blessing her. Now, it may or may not have been a relative that prophesied over her womb for you. But what happened is like it's this maternal type of energy that was transferred. So I feel like it's an elderly or older or more feminine figure that laid her hand on your mother's womb. It could happen at church. It could happen who knows where. But it feels like something that was spiritual. So it could have been in a church setting and laid her hand on your mother's womb as she was pregnant with you to bless the womb. And the blessing of the womb was you. And that blessing that has brought great significance to your mother's life, that you're going to therefore do something great. Now, this greatness is going to affect generations to come. So whatever that may be, that's all that I'm supposed to give right now. Okay. So this last little set of cards here, we have confidence is key to your success, new moon in Leo. So we do have that 8 portal that's coming through during Leo season. I always get so excited about this energy. It just feels like a lot of divine feminine awareness and connectivity. And with that type of energy, being more intuitive and being more protective as well as more confident with your personal power that's overall. So blessings and freedom. God blessed Job's life even more than his life before. So this group or this part of your life has suffered quite a bit. And what is happening is that for all of that suffering, I hear clarity, for all of that suffering that has happened in your life in that area or this group of individuals, that you will be, I hear recompense. You will be rewarded so heavily over the suffering, over the alarm that you and your family had to go through. It really honestly feels like with this group, especially really strongly, it feels like an African American, I usually don't do like race or anything like that, but it feels like someone that their family lineage spans back to segregation, spans back to, the slave trade. And it feels like this person, like their family lineage has been through a lot, and they're breaking a lot of those chains and that's more so, not literally, but more so like figuratively, like that slave mentality has been passed down. And like, I just can't get a good break. I just can't do this. I just can't do that. But the divine spirit is saying, yes, you can do it. And yes, you will do it. Let me make sure I calm down because I feel myself getting very passionate and I don't want to start, crying or anything because it's very strong. This whole energy is very strong. So I'm going to pull a couple other cards. This is a different type of reading. Usually the weekly word readings I try to keep very simple. Dang. All right. And welcome into new spiritual growth. Dang. Okay, so it's a lot that is going on. A very powerful time. So this is a timeless message. So forgiveness, for to give. I'm really honing on that. It's a gift and an energy exchange to forgive. For the gift is a greater gift for the giver, if that makes sense. So to give forgiveness is a burden off of the person that has been carrying around the burden for all that time. Okay, so this could be dealing with relationships for some people. And grief work here. Grief work could be connected to this group, but I feel like overall that all of these individuals have been carrying around a load on their backs for a while. And it's like a interest, building an interest. Almost like how you have your money invested into some stocks or bonds or whatever, and the dividends that they pay out or the interest that builds, compound interest. And that's just a like little scenario that the spirit is showing me about how it passes down from generation to generation and it builds in value. But it doesn't build, typically it has not been building in great value on the positive side, but more so of a deficit and more so of something heavier for the following generation to carry the burden of their previous generation, and it snowballs. But however, with these people that are watching this and that will watch this, that all of that burden that you have been carrying around with you, lay it down and let God take it for you. And God will take that bag of burden and turn it into gold. The great alchemist. Okay, I knew I was going to go there. So, sentimental feelings for sure. So, that joyous energy is coming through. So, praise ahead of time. Know that the victory is coming. And keep doing the internal work. Keep having faith. Because it's definitely coming. You have to lay down those burdens and you have to allow God, you have to allow your guides to take it and transform it into gold. your story, your tests that your family, you have overcame is your testimony that will help other people do just the same. And I'm going to pull one other card. Manifestation. Bam. There we go. The thing I really like about the word manifest, it's like I fest. And a fest is like a feast, like a celebration. Look at the word, okay? Man, woman, human, I, responsibility for the person, for yourself, fest, celebration. You have to celebrate before it actually comes. You have to have faith before it shows up in front of you in your hands. Another thing I like about the word manifest is like a list. You know, people when they're delivering packages or delivering big, huge orders, they have a manifest. And it's a list of things that a person has put a request out to that company, and the person takes a manifest. Okay, so list off the things that you truly, really want to let go and have God turn into gold. The things that, like iron. Iron is very heavy. In alchemy, the alchemist's primary objective is to turn that lead, that iron, into gold, something valuable, something that was once heavy, and turn it into something that is valuable, that can be useful. So don't let that pain, that anointing, go in vain. I always think of this card as Mary, and one of the Marys. Now, it's debatable if it is Mary Magdalene or another Mary. However, the alabaster box. And that story is so beautiful because her sacrifice. The alabaster box, first of all, it's very expensive, but it held precious oils. And she took those precious oils and she poured it on the Christ's feet. All of this is symbolic. You could take it literal, whatever you choose. And she wiped his feet off with her hair. So the hair in that culture is very sacred. A woman was not allowed to show her hair, but she unveiled herself and humbled herself. And for that, she is blessed throughout generations. So what are you willing to take that you've been holding on so tight to? Lay it down before God's feet, you know, whatever God you may choose. It doesn't matter about the name, you know. Lay it down and just pour yourself out and allow the Spirit to fill you up. Fill you up and take it and turn it into value. Okay, so I think I should stop here because I feel like I could just go on and on. Okay, so I would say taking your wand, your pen, your paper, getting really intentional about writing, clear mind, writing down what you want to manifest. Make your manifest a manifestation. Okay, and action is an action word. So the action comes from taking the necessary steps, but you have to have clarity about what steps to take to manifest. Okay, so decks, journals, and services are all listed in the description box. And if you need prayer, I do prayer once a week for those that are part of the prayer list. And I also have other prayers here. Okay, so I thank you once again, you guys. Subscribe if you haven't. Share if you care to do so, if you think this message will help other individuals. And leave a comment. All of that helps the analytics. I will talk to you guys later. All right, peace.